My family disowned me for dating a broke mechanic, until he showed up at their house in his fleet of luxury dealerships. Hello friends. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a hi in the comments. Tell us your city or country too. Let's get into the story. The crystal chandelier above my mother's dining table cast sharp shadows across everyone's faces that Sunday evening. I should have known something was wrong when Daddy asked me to come alone without Michael. My hands trembled as I set down my wine glass, the expensive Merlot suddenly tasting like ash in my mouth. We need to discuss your situation, Mama said, her lips pursed so tight they disappeared into a thin line. My older sister Crystal smirked from across the table, diamond earrings glinting as she exchanged knowing looks with my brother Devon. What situation? I asked, though my stomach already knew. Daddy cleared his throat, adjusting his Rolex. This mechanic you've been seeing. It's been 6 months, Jasmine. We've been patient. His name is Michael. My voice came out steadier than I felt. We don't care what his name is, Crystal interjected, flipping her freshly done silk press. Girl, what are you thinking? You have a master's degree in finance. You work at a prestigious firm. And you're dating a man who changes oil for a living. The words hit like physical blows. I'd known my family was materialistic, but this felt different. Darker. The air in the room grew thick with judgment. Michael is a good man. He's kind, intelligent, hardworking. He's broke. Devon cut me off, laughing. Come on, sis. You can't be serious about this dude. What's he gonna do, fix your car for free? That's not a future. Mama's voice dropped to that dangerous quiet tone she used when her word was final. Jasmine Nicole, you were raised better than this. Do you know what people are saying? At the country club? At church? She pressed her manicured hand to her chest. I can't even show my face anymore. Since when do we care what? Since always, she snapped, slamming her palm on the mahogany table. The silverware jumped. Your father and I built our reputation from nothing. We came from poverty, baby girl. We know what broke looks like, and we didn't sacrifice everything so you could go backwards. I felt my eyes burning. Michael isn't broke. He owns his own shop. A garage, Crystal corrected mockingly. In the hood. I drove past it last week. The sign is literally peeling off the building. My brother leaned forward, attempting a softer approach. Look, Jazz. We're just looking out for you. You're 28. Clock's ticking. You need a man who can match your energy. Your tax bracket. This Michael dude, he's not it. Daddy finally spoke, and his words felt like a death sentence. You need to choose, baby girl. Him or us. Because if you continue this relationship, you're not welcome in this family anymore. The room started spinning. You're joking. Do we look like we're joking? Mama's face was stone. You're seriously disowning me over who I date? We're protecting our legacy, Daddy said coldly. I sat in Michael's modest apartment that night, tears streaming down my face as I recounted everything. The space was small but immaculate. He'd always been meticulous about cleanliness. Car magazines were stacked neatly on the coffee table, and the faint smell of motor oil clung to his work jacket by the door. Hey, Michael whispered, pulling me close. His calloused hands, stained permanently with grease under the nails, gently wiped my tears. It's okay, baby. I know who I am. I know I'm not what they wanted for you. Don't say that, I sobbed into his chest. You're everything I want. He pulled back, those deep brown eyes searching mine. Am I though? Because I can't give you what they can. No fancy vacations. No designer bags. I'm just a guy who's good with cars. You're so much more than that. Michael smiled sadly. Your family sees a broke mechanic with oil under his nails. And maybe they're right. I work 70-hour weeks just to keep my shop afloat. My apartment is barely 600 square feet. I drive a 15-year-old truck. I don't care about any of that. But you should, he said softly. You deserve someone who can give you the world. Someone your family would be proud of. No. I grabbed his face. I deserve someone who loves me. Someone genuine. Someone who doesn't measure worth in dollar signs. The next 3 weeks were torture. Crystal called once, drunk, at 2 a.m. You're really choosing dick over family? Over everything Mama and Daddy built? You're pathetic. Then she blocked me. Devon sent a single text. When you come to your senses, maybe we'll talk. Until then, lose my number. But Mama's silence hurt most. I'd called 17 times. Every call went to voicemail. I drove to their house twice. The gates wouldn't open. The security guard, Raymond, who'd known me since I was 12, couldn't even look me in the eyes as he turned me away. I'm sorry, Miss Jasmine. Mr. and Mrs. Hartford gave strict instructions. You're not on the approved list anymore. Raymond, please. I just need 5 minutes. I can't lose my job, miss. I'm sorry. At work it got worse. My mother sat on the board of directors at my firm. Suddenly I was excluded from meetings. My projects were reassigned. The senior partners avoided eye contact in hallways. My best friend since college, Adrian, met me for lunch. Girl, I don't know what to say. Your mama called my mama. Asked her to tell me to talk some sense into you. She grabbed my hand across the table. But honestly, I've never seen you this happy. Michael is good to you. He is, I whispered. Then screw them, Adrian said fiercely. Michael seemed different lately. Distracted. He'd started taking phone calls in the other room, speaking in hushed tones I couldn't quite hear. Twice I caught him staring at his laptop screen before quickly closing it when I entered. Everything okay? I asked one evening as he hurriedly shut down his computer. Yeah, baby. Just shop stuff. Inventory issues. But his eyes wouldn't meet mine. A cold fear gripped my chest. Was he having second thoughts? Was my family's rejection pushing him away? That night, unable to sleep, I did something I'm not proud of. I checked his phone while he showered. My hands shook as I scrolled through messages. Nothing romantic. Nothing suspicious. Just confusing. Messages from people named Thomas, Jennifer, Robert. Discussing property acquisition and expansion timelines. Legal documents about LLC formations. References to the reveal and when she's ready. What the hell was going on? Jasmine. Michael stood in the doorway, towel wrapped around his waist, his expression unreadable. What are you doing? Shame flooded me. I'm sorry. You've been so secretive lately, and with everything happening with my family, He sat beside me heavily. I wanted to wait. To tell you properly. He ran his hands over his face. But I guess now's as good a time as any. What I'm about to tell you, Michael started, his voice careful, is going to sound insane. But I need you to let me explain everything before you react, okay? My heart hammered. You're scaring me. I'm not who you think I am. He laughed bitterly. Well, I am. But I'm also not. He grabbed his laptop, opened it, and turned it toward me. My name is Michael James Anderson. And yes, I do own a small mechanic shop. But that's not all I own. The screen showed a business portfolio. My eyes struggled to process what I was seeing. Anderson Automotive Group. Fleet of luxury car dealerships across 3 states. Mercedes. BMW. Bentley. Net worth estimated at $47 million. I don't understand, I whispered. My grandfather started as a mechanic during segregation. Built the first black-owned auto repair shop in our city. My father turned it into a dealership empire. When he died 5 years ago, I inherited everything. But I was miserable, Jasmine. Everyone wanted me for my money. Every woman I dated, every friend I made, they all saw dollar signs. His voice cracked. So I walked away. Told my managers to run everything. Changed my last name temporarily. Moved into a cheap apartment. Opened that small shop just to work with my hands again. To remember what Granddad taught me. To find something real. I couldn't breathe. Then I met you. I stared at the laptop screen, then at Michael, then back at the screen. This is real. You're serious. Dead serious. He pulled up more documents. Tax returns. Property deeds. Photos of him at ribbon-cutting ceremonies in expensive suits. Looking like a completely different person. That shop, you know. It's my therapy. My escape. But this, he gestured at the screen, this is my actual life. Why didn't you tell me? My voice came out strangled. Because you fell in love with Michael the mechanic. Not Michael the millionaire. You're the first woman who ever saw me. Really saw me. You'd pack me lunches when I worked late. You'd laugh at my terrible jokes. You never once asked me to buy you anything expensive. His eyes glistened. You loved me when you thought I had nothing. That's everything, Jasmine. My mind reeled. But why hide it from my family? They destroyed you, Michael said flatly. I watched the woman I love get disowned, humiliated, and shunned because I wasn't good enough. Because they're shallow, materialistic people who value status over character. And honestly, I wanted to see exactly who they were. His jaw clenched. I wanted to know what kind of people would treat their own daughter this way. So this was a test? No. This was me protecting my heart. And discovering that your family doesn't deserve you. 2 months had passed since my family's ultimatum. I'd lost 12 pounds from stress. My promotion at work was mysteriously postponed indefinitely. Crystal posted pictures on social media from family dinners I wasn't invited to, making sure to tag the location so I'd see exactly what I was missing. Then came my birthday. 29 years old, and my mother didn't call. Didn't text. Nothing. Adrian threw me a small party at her place. Michael brought a homemade cake. Chocolate with buttercream frosting, my favorite. As I blew out the candles, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Happy birthday to the family disappointment, the message read. Hope your broke boyfriend can afford a decent gift. Oh wait, he probably got you something from the dollar store. Pathetic. It was from a number I didn't recognize, but the cruelty had Crystal written all over it. Michael saw my face. What is it? I showed him. His expression darkened in a way I'd never seen before. How long has this been happening? It's not that bad. Jasmine. How long? Weeks, I admitted. Anonymous messages. Sometimes phone calls in the middle of the night. Just breathing. Nothing I can trace. Michael set down his cake, fury radiating from him. I'm done watching them hurt you. What are you going to do? I'm going to give them exactly what they wanted. His smile was cold. They wanted to meet someone worthy of you? Fine. Let's arrange a meeting. Michael's transformation began the next morning. The beat-up truck disappeared, replaced by a midnight black Maybach that made neighbors stop and stare. He traded his grease-stained jeans for custom Italian suits. His usual casual demeanor shifted into something commanding, authoritative. I need you to trust me, he said, adjusting platinum cufflinks. Can you do that? What are you planning? Justice. He kissed my forehead. Your family needs to understand exactly what they threw away. And more importantly, they need to see the kind of man you chose over their shallow expectations. He'd already put things in motion. His assistant Thomas, a sharply dressed man I'd never met, arrived with contracts and paperwork. Michael made phone calls using terms like acquisition and hostile takeover. I caught fragments of conversations that made no sense. Yes, Hartford Industries. I want a complete financial breakdown by tomorrow. Hartford Industries. My father's company. Michael, what are you doing? He looked at me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. Your father's company has been struggling. He's over-leveraged, made some bad investments. He needs capital. Michael's smile was predatory. And I'm about to become his largest potential investor. You're going to buy his company? I'm going to make them come to me. On my terms. In my world. He cupped my face. And you're going to watch them realize exactly who they disowned their daughter for. The meeting was set for Saturday afternoon at my parents' estate. Michael had orchestrated everything perfectly. My father, desperate for investment capital, had agreed to meet with Michael Anderson, CEO of Anderson Automotive Group, without realizing who he actually was. I felt sick as we pulled up to the gate in Michael's Maybach, followed by 2 more luxury vehicles carrying his legal team. Raymond's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Miss Jasmine, he stammered. Mr. Hartford is expecting guests. Open the gate, Raymond, Michael said smoothly, his voice carrying an authority I'd never heard before. The gate swung open. We drove up the long driveway I'd been banned from for 3 months. My mother stood on the front steps in her Sunday best, Daddy beside her in his most expensive suit. Crystal and Devon flanked them, all smiles for the important investor. Their faces changed when I stepped out of the car. "What the hell is she doing here?" Crystal shrieked. Michael emerged from the driver's side, commanding attention in a navy Tom Ford suit. "Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Hartford. I'm Michael Anderson." He extended his hand. "I believe we have a meeting scheduled." Daddy's face went pale. You're the mechanic." "Among other things," Michael replied coolly. "Shall we go inside? We have significant business to discuss." Mama looked like she might faint. We sat in the formal living room where I'd been disowned 3 months earlier. The irony wasn't lost on me. Thomas distributed financial portfolios to my stunned family members while Michael took the seat of power, Daddy's favorite leather chair. "Let me be clear about why we're here," Michael began, his voice all business. "Hartford Industries needs $20 million in capital to avoid bankruptcy. Your stockholders are nervous. Your board is losing confidence. And you, Mr. Hartford, are running out of options." Daddy's face had turned gray. "How do you know?" "I make it my business to know everything about potential investments." Michael leaned back. "I have the capital you need. But before we discuss terms, I think we need to address something more important." He looked at me, his expression softening. 3 months ago you sat your daughter in this very room and gave her an ultimatum. You disowned her because she was dating a mechanic. Because you couldn't see past appearances to the man beneath. His voice hardened. You destroyed her. Humiliated her. Cut her off from everything she'd ever known. Crystal found her voice. "You lied to us. You pretended to be broke." "I never pretended anything," Michael countered. "I am a mechanic. I do own a small shop. I just happen to own several other things too. Things you never bothered to ask about because you were too busy judging." Mama's voice trembled. "Baby girl, if we'd known. If you'd known I was rich, you'd have accepted me," Michael finished coldly. "That's exactly the problem, Mrs. Hartford." Michael stood, buttoning his suit jacket. "Here's my offer. I'll invest the $20 million Hartford Industries needs. I'll even do it at a favorable interest rate. Your company survives. Your legacy continues. Your reputation stays intact." Hope bloomed on Daddy's face. "Thank you, son. I'm not finished." Michael's voice could cut glass. "In exchange, you will issue a formal public apology to your daughter. You'll restore her position at her firm. Yes, Mrs. Hartford, I know you used your board influence to sabotage her career. You'll apologize to everyone you turned against her. Family, friends, colleagues." "That's," Devon started. "Non-negotiable," Michael interrupted. "Furthermore, you'll establish a trust fund in Jasmine's name. $5 million. Completely separate from family control. Insurance that you can never use money to manipulate her again." The room erupted. Crystal was shouting. Devon was cursing. Mama looked torn between relief that I'd be back and fury at being cornered. But Daddy was calculating. Weighing options. Measuring costs. Finally he spoke. "And if we refuse?" Michael smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Then I'll buy Hartford Industries myself. At bankruptcy auction prices. Strip it for parts. Sell everything. Your family name will disappear from every building, every contract, every legacy project your father built." He paused. "Choose wisely." The silence was deafening. Daddy looked at me, really looked at me for the first time in months. "Is this what you want, Jasmine?" I stood up, my legs shaking but my voice steady. "What I wanted was for you to love me unconditionally. What I wanted was for my family to see that I'd found a good man. A kind, honest, hardworking man who treated me with respect. But you couldn't see past your own shallow values." Tears streamed down my face. Michael didn't have to do this. He was willing to walk away to spare me this pain. But I chose him, Daddy. I chose love over money. Real connection over status. And you know what? Even after everything you've done, I still love you. I love all of you. That's what makes this so unbearably painful. Mama reached for me. Baby. No. I stepped back. You don't get to baby me now. You disowned me. You tried to destroy my career. You let my siblings harass me with anonymous messages. You chose your pride over your daughter. I turned to Michael, my heart shattering. Don't give them the deal. Everyone gasped. Jasmine, Michael started. They don't deserve it. If you bail them out, they'll never learn. They'll never change. They'll just think money solves everything, which is exactly their problem. I looked at my family one final time. I hope losing everything teaches you what I learned, that the only wealth that matters is how you treat people you love. Michael took my hand. We walked out together, leaving my family's empire to crumble. 3 weeks later, Hartford Industries declared bankruptcy. Daddy aged 10 years overnight. They lost the house, the cars, the country club membership. Everything. And I cried. Every single night I cried. Because despite everything, they were still my family. And I'd chosen to let them fall. Michael held me through it all. You did the right thing, he whispered. But it didn't feel right. It felt like death. 6 months later, I got a letter. Just one sentence in Mama's shaky handwriting. We're sorry we never saw what mattered. It was too late. Some broken things can't be fixed. Some losses cut too deep. I still love them. I probably always will. But I learned that sometimes love means walking away. Even when it destroys you. Even when every piece of your heart screams to go back. If this story touched your heart, please share it. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is choose ourselves, even when it costs everything. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means everything to this channel.